So a couple days ago, I'm scrolling on YouTube, procrastinating, minding my business as one does when they're on YouTube. And out of nowhere, I hear this voice. And it's YouTube. And they're like,
would you like to waste more time?
And, I'm like, yeah, I have like 4 hours to kill. Go ahead, suggest me something nice. Recommend something great for me. And YouTube recommends a video from Graham Stephan, YouTube's favorite cheapskate. Graham, I'm sorry if I offended you. Cheapskate is not the politically correct term. The politically correct term is financial minimalist. I click on this video. It's an hour-long podcast with Graham, Nate O'Brien, and this guy named Jack. I don't really know who he is, but I start watching the video. The video is basically they're talking, getting to know each other, blah, blah, blah. And then in the middle, somewhere in the middle, they start talking about what financial minimalism means to both of them.
Hey, you want to save money, just be a minimalist. Like, you're going to save a lot of money because you're not going to be tempted to buy random little things.
All right, so Nate's talking about his experience. Graham's talking about his experience. Nate, if you're familiar with Nate's channel, it's just him and an empty apartment. His apartment has nothing in it. It's literally just him and an empty apartment. That's how he lives. Financial minimalism. And we all know, because we all know Graham, he lives off of 20-cent iced coffee and eggs. But anyway, I'm watching this video. I'm like, okay, this is really interesting. Like, okay, I see their perspective. Cool. Now, one thing that they both said that stood out to me, because they're both YouTubers, they said on every Ebenezer Frimpong video that you watch, you have to like, comment, and subscribe. All jokes aside, that really helps my channel and helps me out, helps the channel grow. So make sure you smash the like button, make sure you drop a comment, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already subscribed just yet. But let's get back into the video. But anyway, after I watch that little section, I go to Graham's channel and I go to his
Millennial Money
series, and I start watching some of those videos. In all the episodes, there's like a quick section where it shows the budget of every person in the episode. And I'm starting to watch those and I'm paying attention to those and I'm listening to Graham's commentary on every single person, and it starts to get me thinking. Here's the thing. My idea of money, because I'm an immigrant, I came from immigrant parents. I'm an immigrant myself. I wasn't born here. My idea of money has always been influenced by how I grew up. I didn't grow up with a lot of money. My idea of money is from what my parents and how my parents taught me. So I think spending money on like a Rolex is stupid. All these things. So my idea of money is, I've always thought I'm a cheapskate because of the way my relationship with money growing up was, right? So I've always considered myself a cheapskate. But after listening to Graham and Nate talk and watching the Millennial Money reaction videos, I realized I'm actually not as frugal as I thought I was. I thought I was frugal because I wasn't out here buying designer clothes or doing this and that, buying a Lamborghini, doing a bunch of extra stuff. So I always thought I was a cheapskate. I always thought I was frugal. Well, I'm wrong. I started going through some of my bank statements, and I realized I spend a lot of money on things that I shouldn't be spending money on. For example, my biggest expense is food, which shouldn't be the case. And I remember last year I posted on my Instagram story that I spent $3,000 on food. And looking back at it, that's really not the flex that I thought it was. I'm just dumb. That's $3,000 that could have went into an index fund, or $3,000 that could have went into something that could appreciate over time, or a savings. That $3,000 could have did a lot more than go to food. So I'm starting to reconsider my position. I'm really not frugal. I'm not a cheapskate. I am someone who spends money on a bunch of little things that are consumable, that add up, that make no sense whatsoever from a financial standpoint. For example, I don't even know what number AirPods these are. I lose them so often because in my head, I'm like, I'll just buy another pair if I lose them. It's not that big of a deal. But these things are $250, right? And I've probably spent over $1,000, well over $1,000 on them. It's stupid. I should just be more responsible, make sure I don't lose these, buy a case, something to make sure I don't lose these and just save more money. So here's what I'm going to be doing. Like I said, I actually don't even have a budget that I stick to. So here's the plan for the future. Creating a budget and sticking to it. No more spending money on DoorDash. Where's my phone? I spent this week alone, this week alone, I've spent on DoorDash $21.69, $73.27, $39.82, $52.13, $32.81, $45.79. That's over almost $300 this week on DoorDash. For what? I could just drive and go get it. I'm done spending money. I'm learning how to cook, buying groceries, shopping at. I'm not going to be shopping at like Whole Foods or anything. But I'm also not going to eat eggs every single day for the rest of my life like Graham and drink 20-cent iced coffee. I'm creating a budget. I'm going to stick to it. I'm also going to stop spending money on consumable items that don't hold any value. So, for example, I've always liked watches, but I've never bought one. I've never went out and bought a Rolex because it's like, oh, it's a waste of money, because deep down, because of the way I'm conditioned, because of how I grew up, I've always thought to myself, okay, spending that much money on a Rolex is stupid. Spending that much money on a watch is dumb. But in reality, it's much better to spend that much money on a Rolex than to spend $300 on an Apple Watch. And you might not understand that, but it's all about the transfer of wealth. If I spend $300 on an Apple Watch, it means nothing. That Apple Watch is never going to appreciate in value. I spent $300 on an electronic watch that means nothing. In a year, Apple's going to come out with another one, and that's over with. That one is lost value, and it will always go down to zero. An Apple Watch does not have a bottom cash. Well, the bottom cash value is zero. It's eventually going to go down to zero. Versus if I just pony up, $6,000, $7,000 and buy a Rolex, it's basically taking $7,000 from my bank account and putting it into the bank of Rolex, because that Rolex is never going to lose its value. It's just going to appreciate. Instead of just continuing to, let's say I buy an Apple Watch and I lose that. Then I buy another one. I lose that and I buy another one, right? It's just dumb. So those are kind of things like that. And I'm just going to start to be more proactive when it comes to money. I'm just not going to go around just swiping my card for every little thing. It's just dumb. But that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Graham, if you're watching this, thank you so much for inspiring the change. Same thing to you, Nate. But that's it. See you guys next time.
A lot of people slept on a kid, but it's cool though. I'm just on the grind, trying to buy myself some new clothes. Cool on these niggas, I ain't looking for no new hoes. I be trying to get some new dough. I was too broke. People ain't believe me, guess they act like they ain't see the vision. How you talking work and you ain't never been up in the kitchen? I was writing raps, my niggas